as
Nasus
Kiana.
would be very interesting if that would have been actually locked in. But no, Mordekaiser. So I guess they want to threaten Death Realm and tax Afreeca to stunt them. And that's actually going to be problematic for them in the later stages of the game. These champions do not want to stunt their build orders pretty much whatsoever. And that's going to give a little bit more swaying power over to T1. But Afreeca, I mean, they find themselves actually between a rock and a hard place here. Karthus does not have the easiest lane setups to have a lot of freedom with. Although the opponents won't get a lot of MR, they're naturally pretty beefy. Death Realm is a way for Mord to protect himself. And then Faker on the Sylas, he's going to be able to steal away Requiem.
Well, we'll see how T1 are going to be able to make this one work. I do like that you emphasize the Mordekaiser and his value against any sort of teamfight composition like Afreeca's. He does go up, but looking forward to seeing whether he can actually make it work, because this is a really cool comp. I really like it out of Afreeca. The Ornn Caitlyn combo flexed into the mid lane, and then alongside it, the Sylas also flexed into mid and will be piloted by Faker. So you still get that Sylas Ornn matchup, just not in the lane that you're expecting it to be in.
Yep.
And the Karthus out once again for Spirit. And he was one of our better Karthus players. Did always like to say that Karthus was garbage and then pick it immediately afterwards. So just good. Just classic Spirit stuff.
Well, this T1 team composition is very brawlery. And we'll see if Spirit does just power immediately into the Death Crown on Karthus. I'm curious what his second rune is. We see a lot of Karthus's still go Presence of Mind, but it's not really necessary. Cosmic Insight and Magical Boots from the Inspiration Tree can provide some stuff, but obviously that's one of the only things that you can really look for in early game Karthus when it comes to the runes, which we're gonna see everyone's runes here in just a second.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind Nimbus Cloak and Gathering Storm or something like that if Afreeca are going to be playing based on their composition, which is going to do a lot of damage post 30 minutes. Assuming they don't get absolutely rammed in the early stages. It is going to be the Presence of Mind build, though, like you were talking about, to go alongside it. So sticking to the old school.
Mordekaiser up there in top lane with the Conqueror. Volibear is going to have the Predator. Sylas, no surprise either on his runes. Everything is pretty standard. Pretty much everywhere.
Yep. And so we're looking for T1 to make moves early, right?
Yeah. T1 is most likely going to be the team that tries to make moves early, because if you just let Karthus do stuff to his own devices, it's going to be a problem. Now, we can also play the Karthus minigame here, which Spirit's actually taking a lot of damage. This is not something that should normally happen. But let's see the clear speed.
Well, let's see a bit of a fight bottom side as Mystic, not actually wanting to take it, as Ben lands a nice dredge line. This is, of course, his very famous Nautilus that he's very, very practiced at. As this is the first time Faker's played Sylas this season. This is very interesting. It's been mostly Canna that's been on that one. Of course, his incredible slicing maelstroms being a good example there as Spirit. Going to be able to clear the top side pretty quickly. What is it, 3 minutes and 20 seconds that we're looking at?
No, we're looking at 305 is average. If you're really insane, you can do, I believe the fastest I've seen is 249. But 252 to 257 is like very, very good. That's very, very good. 305 is the average though. So we'll see if he can manage to do it. He didn't juggle the patience on the Wolf as good as he could have, so he's going to be missing some time there. It's not the end of the world, but yeah, all right, well.
Yeah.
We're already at 254, so that one's not going to be possible.
He delayed it by putting down the ward, so that's going to be his excuse in the post-game interview.
It reminds me of
why can't you clear?
The LPL, was it the Ning clear path, where all the pro players then, they went in and they speed-runned it. And okay, 314 finish by Karthus.
So I was a bit more accurate, but that's not good, unfortunately. But still, T1 moving immediately out of the way here, not wanting to have anything to do with a 3 versus 2. As Canna's going to have the lane to himself for a little while. The Wukong going on walkabout.
Yep. And Wukong is just going to pick himself up the Scuttle Crab on the left-hand side. You can see the pings going down onto it. Faker playing a little bit respectful. Has to respect if Karthus is around, but he is recalled.
All right, now we want to talk about sort of how we're going to discuss these team comps, because I'm looking at Afreeca and thinking that if this game is within 4,000 gold at 20 minutes, 25 minutes, then Afreeca are very happy.
Yes. They're going to be very happy if that is the case. T1 need to really pressure through dragons, or if the Sylas is just a monster, then it's very hard to bring him down. Especially if he ends up getting so far ahead that he's a better Karthus than Karthus. That is definitely going to be one of the scary things to look out for. But I mean, Spirit, he's just on his adventure here. Now, he didn't get double Scuttle Crab. He did just get one of them. But Ellim, now you can just see how much slower Volibear is left to his own devices. And remember, Volibear did not get one of the Scuttle Crabs, but he's just beginning his adventure back to the top side of the map. This is the discrepancy in clear speed between these two champions. So when your laners aren't incompetent and can pretty much just go even, this is what Karthus can do to champions like Set, like Volibear, and the likes of those beefy, tanky junglers. He can just blitz right by them.
Yeah, this is classic LS gameplay. This is, you can't do anything about it, we're schooling you. Is sort of how it's working. Ellim is going to be able to come back through here, though, and take his chickens. So there's that. Looks like the Croc camp is going to go over to him as well, as Spirit's going to take this time to go back home. I think Swedish Codex could be coming in, but we'll see where he actually decides to go. As no, just an amp tome, not quite there yet. As yeah, you see, like, if you're seeing no kills and nothing really happening, then Afreeca are very happy. But on top of that, you've also got the jungle being passively won by the Karthus.
Yep. And Spirit is going to be level 6 soon. His path was a little bit stunted by the play that he ended up trying to go for, and so that's an upside for T1 because they didn't need to do that. So his next golem capture was a little bit slow, and now because of it, he's on the opposite side of the map from where all his respawn camps are, and he RNG'd really bad. Scuttle Crab, left-hand side.
Ooh, Karthus.
I don't know what they're trying to do here. There's no kill.
And also you can see T1 playing really intelligently there towards the bottom side, making sure that they stay out of position, as Spirit just going to choose to go home, so wasting a bit of time.
That was really peculiar because Mystic auto-attacked Effort and he pulled the aggro on the spellcasters even though the wave was coming into Mystic, which is what you want when Karthus is waiting in that brush. But he chose to auto-attack Effort and it actually caused the wave to slow down a great deal. And then there's no point for Spirit to be there. So this is one of those lane manipulation things that sometimes the players aren't cognizant of in the moment. And it just ends up looking like, well, why were you there in the first place?
Yeah, a little bit weird.
Volibear's even with Karthus after losing both Scuttle Crabs. This is a nightmare fiasco.
There's a lot more to clear here on Spirit's side, so we'll see what happens. Cyclone down towards the top side as there's the double knock-up. Obliterate. Gonna work out there as Deathcross needs to be flashed by Kiin. Spirit gets over the wall, but remember, Canna's... It's difficult to gank him because he just puts someone in the Death Realm. As there's the Wall of Pain. Skittles being eaten here by Canna. There's the last one. Flash has to come out, and so both top laners now down a Flash.
Yep. Mordekaiser is a little bit slow and sluggish, especially getting tapped by that Wall of Pain. Mystic trying to trade back against Gamayusi.
Ooh, Flash.
Yeah. Oh.
As there's the flash. They're not in range for the auto. Very unfortunate. Net comes down. There's the headshot. As now Ellim's going to come in. The Predator goes down, shows them the bad news. As there's Requiem. We'll see how much damage it can do. Not exactly enough, but the cleanup's going to be there. The exhaust not going to work out as there's Ace in the hole. And Afreeca 2 kills to 1 in the first skirmish of the game.
Yeah, I'm not sure why Fly came in, though. That was very interesting. And
Well,
Spirit
gonna
now...
flash out of the way here as Faker's underneath the turret. Not entirely sure what he's trying to do there, as the turret's going to get angry at him. There's the Ornn. Faker not going to get knocked up, able to dash out of the way with the abduct.
He's going to make it out.
The abscond, sorry, yes, and he is going to escape.
And so at the end of this all, one of the things that has to be stated is Mordekaiser got a lot of free farm and a wave over Wukong. And then Faker, likewise, was able to do that. Karthus was there to pick up some of it, but it's not just the 2-for-1 down in bottom that it ended up looking like. Because of the teleports expended, at the end of the day, it ends up being pretty even, but even is good for Afreeca. So they're still in a very, very good spot here in this game. And let's just take a look at how this transpires. So there was a lot of mechanical blunders leading up to this moment. Requiem comes in from mid lane. You can see Ornn teleporting into the fray. He wasn't needed whatsoever. I don't know why Fly came in. Ellim trying to run away. Faker tried to get a solo kill underneath the turret. And as we come...
Effort's dead.
Effort's dead.
Continue.
Well, not much to really continue about, but... This is, you know, it's a thingy-majiggy. Who's a midinky?
It is certainly looking like a Game 5. I'm smelling Game 5 in the air. And we may just have blue side 100% win rate if this does result in what we're expecting. However, what we're expecting doesn't always happen. I mean, I watched FlyQuest versus TSM, and so I know that even if I expect something, it just doesn't happen in a lot of those occasions. A fun series, though, tell you what. The entertainment value, definitely there. I'm not going to comment on anything else. Faker and Fly having some fun, as Fly getting taken down relatively low, but the searing charge going to get him out of the way of any issues.
And we can see down here in bottom lane that... Oh!
Curtain call, Mystic, getting it blocked there by Ben, but the Tempered Fate goes down. That's a great little dance from Mystic. Gets himself out of the way with a 90 caliber net. And Gamayusi going to pick up this wave once again. So, some buttons on cooldown. Not really too much to worry about. Mystic holds onto his flash.
Another turret plate goes over to Canna, though, on this Mordekaiser. He's almost level 10. He's about 9.6, and Kiin just ding 9. So about 60% ahead in levels.
Oh, Ram coming on in here as there's the knock-up. Gets into position to make sure he can knock up Faker. Great dredge line comes forward, and Spirit is going to lock away that kill. No Predator out of Ellim here. He's just a little bit too late to the party.
Yeah. And Ellim, I mean, he's going to pick up the remnants of the wave, but not a whole lot really going on. Now, one of the things that is absent from this game is that no team is really going for Dragon. And T1 may be about to change that right now, though. They have Gamayusi coming back down into bottom lane.
Yeah, teleport advantage for T1 as well. So Faker may be just coming out of the Death Chamber, but he has the ability to teleport to this dragon whenever he wants to. So theoretically, they do have the man advantage. Fly a little bit late to that mid lane, so T1 will be able to lock down the Cloud Drake. Next one going to be an Ocean, and we've got some fire or rocks coming through for our Dragon Souls. Let's have a look at Effort getting caught out again. Just a little bit of an iffy position, as that's a great knock-up to deny the Magical Journey.
And then we see what transpires here in mid lane. And this is just Faker taking a really aggressive trade, thinking that everything's free, but Spirit is there. Ends up getting the kill onto the Karthus. He has the Dark Seal as well. And everything going pretty good. They funnel the resources yet again into Jhin with the Rift Herald, and Recall going to be stopped.
Yeah, denied. Good ward.
Certainly obnoxious.
Scared Yuumi there as Fly just showing Faker how he's feeling in this lane at the moment. As there's the stun, Ben's going to be in trouble as they want both of them. Depth charge comes down. Mystic going to flash himself out of the way. He's free hitting, but I don't know whether it's going to quite be enough, as Ben's very tanky. Aftershock working out for him, but it's not quite enough. And Gamayusi is going to be able to grab his first kill of the game.
Yeah, and also they get the Requiem out of Karthus. So that's another big win for T1. It's going to put the Karthus on cooldown, and that is a very big ultimate to be on cooldown in this game. Seems like...
Wall of Pain.
Yeah, they're trying to get the Wall of Pain, trying to get some damage. I'm not sure why Fly didn't cast the ult they would have certainly been able to get Faker's flash away from him. And now Faker is the one with the Requiem, so everyone has to respect that. On the side of T1, Spirit now 2 levels up over Ellim. And you can just see they're constantly pressuring him. They're giving all the gold to Karthus as well. On these turrets, Ben's here as well, and Faker, he's like, well, actually, we just can't defend this. That's going to be 2 turret plates going over.
Yeah, Demolish Rock working out.
Yeah, just having his way with everything that's going on. You can see effort down here. I don't know what he's doing. Teleport, though, coming in from Mordekaiser.
No, it's actually from Faker, as the Mordekaiser is going to be coming in a little bit later. Effort flashing forward, gets a decent stun as they definitely want to take out this Karthus. He's going to flash. The exhaust was on top of him, and the Death's Grasp is going to be enough to grab that one. Effort's going to be taken down, though, as a 1-for-1 trade ensues, and the Death Defy working out really nicely for Afreeca to make sure they could get that 1-for-1.
Yeah, an Effort just overstepping yet again in this lane, so it ends up being that 1-for-1. Not sure how long Faker still has on the Requiem available. Probably end up casting that shortly, I would assume, but very, very hard to move the Ornn at this point in the game. All the turret plates have gone down.
Ooh. This is cheeky.
Yeah.
Decent little stun, but
and you can see Wukong.
Fly's gonna make him brittle.
I mean, I don't know what that teleport was from Kiin, by the way. That was honestly, I mean, what was that?
I don't know. Personally, no idea.
All right.
Sometimes you just want to teleport to the mid lane. That's what I think it was. Or maybe it's the biggest flank ever onto Canna on the top side. No, it's not. He's just going to walk back top. So it was just strange. Then gets caught. And the rest was history here in this particular fight on the bottom side.
He threw the anchor onto Mystic.
Yeah, it's like, I'm going to get you.
Yeah. Probably thought that once Mystic went golden, he would be a much more solid substance and perhaps could latch onto it, but not quite how that works. Faker coming in off the teleport there, missed the chain onto Ben. Effort got the snare onto Karthus, and then they followed it up with Ellim. But then just watch Effort. He didn't need to go that far. I don't know what they're doing, because they don't have the damage to pursue on against a Nautilus or an Ornn underneath that turret. Way too tanky would have been the issue, and you can see that their plans to go bot lane are foiled by that one ward. Never mind, they're going to Magical Journey. They're going to try to do it anyway. Here it comes.
Oh, Mystic. He's going to get caught out. Another Requiem will come in on top of T1 here. A lot of damage, but the Caitlyn's already dead. And no one going to be dying here on T1's side. Some low health bars. Other than that, everything is absolutely fine.
Yeah. They're continuing to get Jhin as far ahead as they possibly can. The Mordekaiser is going Proto Belt as a second item, which I find so surprising, given that he didn't opt for it as his first item, and generally Proto Belt it doesn't scale as well as other items could.
Yeah,
in the later
I think
stages.
It's first item or nothing, in my opinion. But it does give him mobility that Mordekaiser does really like.
And you can see really nice Tempered Fate there, locks up Mystic. And Ellim was able to come in there face planting onto Caitlyn. And from there, everything was pretty easy for them. They also, again, got the Requiem out. Ramus thumbs up, coming out by Fly. T1, they're only slightly ahead right now. So we're looking to see if they can get larger advantages in the next coming minutes. They need to get that Ocean Dragon, though.
All right, Fly gonna miss his ultimate as Faker taking some Skittles, now wanting to take the fight to Spirit. Great knock up though, is the Tempered Fate going to be avoided.
Oh!
As the ace in the hole that came through as well, did a fair bit of damage there to Faker, who's gonna turn it around. The Karthus is already dead, but he still has some Skittles in him. Can Faker dodge it? He's standing in the Defile. It's not exactly what you want, but he is going to survive in the end. That's some composure for you. Absolutely beautiful. And now the Ocean Drake should belong to T1.
And that is the most tilting kind of a person escaping from you for Spirit and Fly. They came so close to taking him down, but the fancy footwork. Oh, man. T1 now, they get the dragon, and they stun Fly and Spirit. Fly dying isn't just him dying, it's him missing out on minion waves, which is EXP, which hits him to gets him to the ornaments that much faster, as well as giving them over to the teammates.
Yeah, let's have a look at
Coming
Faker
down to the bottom.
doing this again.
Faker starts it off, he pops the refillable immediately at the very start. And interestingly enough, it mattered.
상이가 궁 가만히 있어봐. 상이 위로 해야 돼. 캐틀 궁. 좀만 봐봐.
Saying to basically do it, and you know, at the very end, you know what they say, Atlus? That ain't Falco.
Oh no.
궁 먹자.
Yeah, walks back to the lane, and he's going to be fine. Kingslayer just doing so much work. It's just crazy. Sylas with some CDO. Very scary prospect.
Well, that was very, very fortunate for T1. Series of events that unfolded. And Afreeca, the Wukong not really able to influence a whole lot right now in this game. He's still going to need a lot more time to build up. Mountain Dragon is the third one that is coming up. And honestly, that is bad news bears for Afreeca, because T1 should be the one in position to get it when it spawns. And any little bit of magic resistance, amplification, hurts Spirit so much because it creates so much more safety against the Requiem. It makes him so much more difficult for him to try to get any kills and get the ball rolling. But the sustain fights, even against Wukong, who typically doesn't build any sort of armor shred, this is the best dragon I think that T1 could have hoped for.
Yeah, it's very, very nice. Of course, if Afreeca get it, they're going to be very happy as well, because they want to be able to get Ornn into that unkillable state, as well as Nautilus being much more difficult to take down. But the prospects are going to be very, very hard. We spoke about Afreeca wanting to fight in the late game, and T1 have accelerated these dragons. And so Soul Point will be coming up 2.5 minutes time. And Afreeca, it's going to be very difficult for them to fight for it, because yes, Fly does have his first ornament. His Abyssal Mask is now done. He'll have his Forgefire Cape pretty soon as well. And the Molten Edge will then come through for Mystic, but Mystic is pretty anemic when it comes to items. Yes, he has a slight CS advantage, but the money is well and truly in favor of Gamayusi at the moment. And so, not exactly the greatest news for Afreeca, but with a comp like this, it's not over till it's over.
2 minutes until that Mountain Drake comes up. And, I mean, if there is a game to see a Locket of the Iron Solari on a jungler, it would be this one for Ellim to help against the Requiem, because you're going to be clumped up anyway. And the way that this team comp for T1 fights, it would just be so powerful against Afreeca's hard engage. And you hate to see it, but the book is picked up on Spirit.
Oh, no. This is really, really bad. Sometimes, you know, we use the Merlinomicon as a bit of a joke.
This is actually
but he
terrible.
needed the death cap ASAP, and he's put himself even further behind.
So
oh man, that's a disaster.
I mean, you can understand what he's thinking, is that, well, there's healing on Volibear, there's healing on Mordekaiser to an extent, healing on Sylas.
That's a two-man Tempered Fate. Here's the curtain call as in goes Ellim, shuts down the tower. Effort gonna get out of there as well, so he's not gonna be falling this time around as Fly trying to fight this one out, but he gets grasped back. And now Kiin looking for his opportunity, but can't find it. Mystic being dead is just awful as, okay, whoa! Requiem's gonna come in. The Karthus value is gonna be massive, as that's what Death Defy does for you. Finally, the Requiem does get channeled as Ben is limping away from this fight. And there's the T1 flare that Ellim wanted to throw out for them. But T1 in the end are going to be able to win this. But we saw snippets of the power that Afreeca could have.
Yeah, and that is a very, very close fight. But now, no Requiem available for the Mountain fight is going to be a problem. Tempered Fate comes out, catches Spirit and Mystic point blank. Curtain Call comes out. Full on to effort to try to get anything that they can. But Kate goes down at the very start of this fight. Fly is there with Faker, but gets brought into the Death Realm, and you can just see the angle that Afreeca has here. Karthus trying to get in, Requiem summoned by Faker brings the pain down initially, just barely missing out onto Fly. The Requiem comes out, obviously, by Spirit, doesn't quite offer the same level of flare. And right there, I mean, this is not looking super good now for Afreeca, because the timing of that fight, the expending of their summoners as well as their ultimates means they don't have it for Mountain. This should be a very free Mountain picked up by T1.
Yep, they're already starting it. Gamayusi's going to definitely do enough damage, but he's just going to leave. He's got some minions to look for as Fly is going to take down this outer turret on the top side. So like you were talking about, very free Mountain Drake, and Afreeca not even interested in trying to fight for it, as Mystic has to stand behind his inner turret here in the mid lane. T1 need to keep snowballing this, but so far it is looking good. Tempered Fate is going to connect onto Spirit as traps go down to try and defend. Effort down to about half, as Afreeca do clear out the minion wave and Faker in position for a flank with that Cyclone that he only has a few more seconds on. But they're protecting both mid lane and bottom lane. And Fly and Kiin both here, but Canna should still be able to take the tower.
Yeah.
And he's trying to deny as much as he can as well. This is this is not great, as that siege minion also going to be falling.
Denied again? I mean, he's probably denied at least 150 gold that he otherwise would not have if he just immediately shoved the wave. So imagine expanding upon this concept.
Whoa. What do you do there?
Into the longer stages of the lane.
Whoa.
It would be quite a miracle. I have hopes,
Wait,
by the way.
are you saying that that a wave doesn't have to be just eaten and...
Well,
No.
listen,
My brain has
talk about
exploded.
that here. Yeah.
Okay.
I have hopes that that Aegis is going to turn into the Locket, and when it does, it actually stunts Afreeca so hard in the team fights. Lord Dominic's Regard, picked up by Gamayusi. He's moving on towards his fourth item. Molten Edge coming in for Caitlyn. The ornaments are starting to be dispersed amongst their members. Trinity Fusion is going to be there on the side of the Wukong for Kiin. But Karthus, I mean, he's not moving towards any ornament. And so this is going to be really bad news bears, because he could have just had 90 free AP if he just went death cap.
Yeah, and the Oblivion Orb would have been doing its job. As this little kitty cat still just chilling, making sure that that Baron is under control here by T1, guard cat, if you will. Just kind of here towards the bottom side, clears out these minions, nails the siege minions. Well, beautiful stuff. Love that. And Gamayusi's starting to crit for pretty big damage, and he doesn't even have his Infinity Edge yet. Going a little bit more for the utility first, making sure that he gets that armor penetration under his belt is very important against Fly, who's going to have a lot of armor now with a Bramble Vest on top of his Forge Fire Cape that he had completed earlier. This is by no means a done deal for either team so far, but it is close to a 5,000 gold lead, a little bit more here for T1. And what did we say? 25 minutes, 4,000 gold lead is not enough to feel comfortable if you're T1. 5,000, still not quite at the level that you want. There's Ellim with a Storm Strike, but not going to be able to find too much more.
And things are certainly looking a little bit rough right now for Afreeca. As Mountain's coming up in 2 minutes, you can see that they're posturing right now, but if they take a team fight right now, this is not the best timing in the world for them.
Nope. We're looking at Caitlyn items. She still needs a Storm Razor to really be online. Karthus is so far away from Deathcap Void Staff, which would be the optimal situation for him. We're going to need this game to go uber late for Afreeca to just naturally have the composition to take down T1. Predator has been popped. Ellim looking for his way in as he's running real fast. There's the Ornn called by Faker. A second to return from Fly, but Afreeca's members are so incredibly low. And there goes the Wukong. Tempered Fate is going to land on Mystic and onto Canna. And the Karthus is going to fall. We'll see whether the Requiem is actually going to do enough damage. This is a triple kill, a quadra kill for Canna on this Mordekaiser. And T1 should be able to run it down the mid lane. This game has been blown wide open and may just be over.
I think it is over, Atlus, and this is what we were just mentioning not even 20 seconds ago, would be that this fight is disastrous for them to try to take at this point in time. For some unholy reason, they're grouped in the mid lane, posturing around, waiting for T1 to just steal the Ornn like Faker ended up doing and cause this fight to unfold. T1 is going to move on now tomorrow to face